So we're joined today by FatBuzz, Kyle and Gordon, and obviously Emma and myself, and we're here today to have a bit of a chat about releasing news through social media, and it's something that Aura PR is going to start doing in the near future, and FatBuzz are very experienced in social media, and we want to speak to them about it to get their take on it.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for coming.
No worries.
So currently obviously we do the traditional press releases to release news with supporting image, but you know the saying is a picture's 1,000 words, but you know a video could be 1,000,000 words. Do you think that potentially this is a step forward and a good way to do it, actually, to reach more people and to get the messages out there?
Yeah, definitely. The video is so accessible now as well. People can receive it on tablets like iPads or on their phones and so on. So it's so accessible now, and it breaks down a lot of barriers. It's much more personal than a written release, and it's, I think, much more likely to be consumed as well than somebody taking the time to go and read or print something out and read it. So yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think it's a much more accepted format now and people don't have the same reservations about being behind in front of a video camera nowadays. They're quite happy to chat away and talk about all manner of things. So yeah, a very accessible one, and just a wee bit novel as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it'll be good.
I mean, I think from our point of view, from looking what the journalists do, especially the likes of local newspapers that are maybe really pushed for resources, there's potentially still a need for written press release, so they can take the information and edit it. But I think certainly for the likes of broadcast, we were talking earlier on about actually lifting the sound from it if it's for radio or actually using it for television. There's different people can use it for different things, and bloggers can take the whole lot if they want. So it's it can sort of fit different sort of needs for people, I think, as well.
Yeah, it's just the way that people consume information now. People consume in total different manners. There's people obviously on the move a lot that are just listening to audio podcasts or watching videos on their phone. Then you've got people that just want to read. Yeah. So like you say, you can just extract the audio or video and put it into so many different formats.
When you put these out, how do you distribute them? How you put it announced?
As in the videos?
Yeah. The news release, how do you tell people this? Yeah.
We have media lists, so it would go out to our media lists, but it would also be put onto the likes of YouTube, so it's a platform there, and then go onto our blog and onto our website, so that we're covering quite a lot of platforms, and we've got different URLs.
So are you going to have a priority list then of it goes out to the media list first and then you put it on YouTube, or does it just go out to everybody at one time?
I think it would probably depend on who the client was and what the because sometimes
subject is,
sometimes you have to offer exclusives to certain people and then follow up. So if it's like a daily newspaper, but if it's the trade press, sometimes they're weekly, sometimes they're monthly, sometimes they're bi-monthly. So it doesn't really matter like the time scale as much as it would for a daily newspaper, for example.
And I think we were talking QR codes before we started recording, and I think a QR, if it's going in a magazine, for instance, a QR code that links to the actual release of the client talking about that is ideal. So I think it's great. It'd be interesting to see how the press receive it, because there's this whole thing at the moment about press release as opposed to news release, I think the press still expect to get your releases first before anybody else, but in reality the sort of brands can talk directly to the consumer now, so there is this problem with do you send out a press release or do you send out a news release to everybody?
As
you say, it'll depend. I think